Hey guys, welcome to the review here on Go Mango.
No!
Boom. As always, I'm your host, the Cinder Blaze, and today we have
Frozen Stratos. Emphasis on frozen.
He really just drops it on us. I'm Aresol.
Hey, I waited 20 seconds and boom, we're in this next review. And speaking of just dropping things out of nowhere, we have a new antagonist to kind of deal with.
Except he's not new, he's a reused bad one from earlier.
Yeah, what did you guys think of Bach this episode? Because personally, I think he was better utilized in this one than his little commercial movie, or whatever that was called. But he's just like, man, like I'm tired of dealing with these guys.
I mean, from what you guys said, he actually has a story in this, so that's
it's more. The episode had more story than the movie. I don't know. It's weird because like that movie was supposed to be an advertisement of the show, but like nothing in the movie was indicative of what we got here.
Yeah. If you guys haven't watched the Book of Ruin movie with Kamen Rider Saber, if you're bored and you just want something to watch while you're eating, watch it. But if you're looking for something engaging, if you're interested in this writer, where he comes from, just watch this episode, I guess. But
you'll be sorely disappointed still.
Yeah, his backstory is a little bit weird, a little funky. He was just like a regular knight, but he got betrayed by another writer. But
I mean, like, he's literally every other old, like, past knight in this in this show. He used to be a knight, and then now he's the swordsman with magic powers.
Yeah,
like it's fine.
Yeah,
I
wild. Oh, go
ahead. I was just gonna say it's sort of indicative of like just Saber in general, that like that was kind of the more interesting part of this episode, at least for me. I like seeing backstory and I like seeing stuff like that, but I feel like we're drip fed it in between, like, just episode after episode of them repeating the same thing over and over again.
Yeah, we're gonna push the trauma stuff towards the end of the episode, towards the end of this review, because I do not want to talk about it right now. Like, honestly,
what you're saying.
Oh, go ahead.
So, like you said, you know, we're drip fed this stuff throughout the same plot that we've been seeing, but the backstories for a lot of these guys, for a lot of our villains, were, hey, did you know that these guys were former swordsmen and they turned evil? Who is it, man? Like, And I don't know. This one was so, we had more, but it feels like even he was so divorced from anything else that they were doing, anything else that they were even up to, because he met none of the three Meggy dudes, who were supposedly one of the first ones, unless. I mean,
that seems like it's even before that. Like,
it's a bit weird. Like, I would assume it comes a little bit after that, but I wish that I wish we had like a little bit more with that backstory, because like the main interesting point for me was Yuri was part of that team. And, you know, there's like a lot of mystery kind of surrounding that character and why he kind of gave up on humanity and decided to, like, give up his humanity and just remain as a sword that just, like, sets the balance between the two worlds without really caring about either one. So they could easily take that route and kind of give an arc to Yuri. Like, at this time, I think it's probably the most, like, probably the best time to give him an arc, because he's definitely like on the the chopping block here, because he could easily just like die anytime. But
yeah, I mean, he is kind of on the dead side right now.
Kinda, but like I'm not 100% sure, because we haven't had Toma mourn the living crap out of him.
That's
twice.
True. Yeah.
I mean, he's just sealed, right?
That's true. I mean, like,
It's
yeah,
like
definitely
that's
not
what I
dead,
took
but,
from
like,
that scene of oh
yeah.
his sword's sealed now.
Yeah.
But like he went out saying, "Wow, it was nice having friends for a little bit," and then expires. So like, it to me, it was clearly presented as, "Hey, this is supposed to be akin to a death scene." It didn't make
It
me
was
feel anything at
yeah
all, but
no I felt
yeah
nothing from that.
yeah it signaled to me that the show was treating it as such.
Yeah.
But I guess you're right. We did not get the wailing or any of that.
Yeah. It honestly just felt like he kind of got dehensioned in a sense.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
obviously, it's not like a normal one because his human form just completely disappeared. But I'm just
Mhm.
like, alright, cool. And then like right before that, I think his interactions with Bach should have been like a little bit more fleshed out. And I was kind of like sick and tired of like Toma taking the spotlight for this fight because I felt like aside from like that initial battle where they kind of like set up his powers because we really didn't get much of that at all in the movie, like
Mhm.
a good grasp of what his powers do, but like he nullifies like the special powers of the sword, which is so generic because they end up beating him with the special powers of their swords. Like
Well, no, he sort of just leaves, right? Like they didn't really defeat anything. Like the main takeaway of that fight was that Caliber saved Kento and sort of inadvertently extended that olive branch, or at least like moved away from the shroud he's under and trying to remain distant. He's shown that he cares for Toman. That's sort of why he's been doing it the whole time.
yeah, I think that to beat him, you have to like seal him in some special sort of way. So I guess with range attacks, they could like still beat him, but it doesn't do anything technically because his second power is like reborning himself is still a pain in the ass to deal with. Poor Blades getting his new spicy form. He did get the one up on Durandal, which I have some mixed feelings about. Like I'm glad he beat him because I hate Durandal, but I also just like I hate that Durandal's like he's we don't even need that character. Like you could take him out completely, have Sabla just completely devoted to Master Logos instead of a fucking Onichan. Like just everything would be like a lot better without that character.
He's literally
Sure, yeah.
there to fill out a slot for like the 10 swords. That's
Oh,
it.
right, yeah.
Yeah, it's not even a sword; it's a fork. So what do we know?
It's a
And
fork, no matter how you slice it.
yeah, and we did get like a little bit more of a clear representation of what Durandal's power is. So like, there's just like two timelines. He just kind of like cuts out one, replaces it with an alternate timeline where he's always behind the enemy, and like
Yeah.
the
His
second,
one move.
yeah, the second the first one like disappears, he just knows where he is, and
Yeah.
I'm glad that he
yeah.
just caught up with that because that was
I,
gonna be stupid if he didn't figure it out by now.
I love how last week they showed him like training and everything, and I'm just like, what are you training for? You don't beat anyone with your swordsmanship. You just use the same strategy over and over again. Blink out of existence, walk behind them, slash. That's it.
Yo, one of these times he's gonna like blink to the side and just completely juke everyone. Oh man.
Also, they within the first few episodes of Blades' new form with the beautiful white flowing mane, they
Deploy the
decide to
mane.
bring that, huh?
Deploy the main.
They decide to bring that suit to Sakamoto's explosives factory and just, I'm sure there's so much sand and dust and shit in the hair. And you will be seeing that for the next few episodes. I don't think they clean those things.
Yeah. That's unfortunate, but I was kind of hoping that Kento kind of got dehension there because he would have enjoyed the crap out of that.
Oh, he
Uh,
would have loved it. Good meal.
yeah. Ah, man. Now that I brought him up, we kind of have to talk about him and a little bit of the Toma stuff because they're just like they're really intertwined right now. They're just the two bumbling idiots just tied to Luna, and Luna's easily one of the worst characters and parts of the show by far. Oh my god. Um. So with all these things changing, like I'm going to give Kenta the benefit of the doubt and say that he's still seeing the same future, even though all the events leading up to it are different. I hope that's the case. But if it's not, like, at this point, come on.
I feel like I don't know if they're representing this correctly, but like as I understood it, he died or fell to the sword and was thrown into despair, and in that instance was shown the future continually, and he tried to change it. No matter what he did, nothing different. He Doctor Stranged it a little bit, and once he came back, he wasn't under that influence anymore. He was just gonna go and execute on the one that worked. And then, like, nothing is happening according to that. And it just feels like every time he's like, oh no, this is different than what I thought. Unlike anything that I've seen before. Probably still going to happen, though. So I'm going to be rooting around and try to say some of this way. I don't know. It's really dumb.
Like, I think that some of the things that he still saw in the possible futures could still occur. Like, when Luna did come back, I think we did see around that time that Kento saw a future where big Luna would go in and like swap out for the small Luna when they were being sacrificed for the giant book. Which, by the way, last time that they did that, Sophia was nowhere close to it. So I don't know what they were trying to do in like the first 15 episodes of this series when they're trying to bring back the omniscient tome, but that's definitely something that just like wrote in just to have Luna have purpose in this show. Awful. Also, Shoma believing that he like if he just tries hard enough, he can rip a hole into reality, so we can find Luna just sitting in like an alternate dimension, and at least like that's one thing that kept consistent for like Luna and Sophia. Like Sophia is supposed to be this alternate version of her. They are just super content with just sitting in an empty void, doing nothing for extended periods of time.
You know what I'm afraid of? Like the most afraid of is that we have little Luna, we have big Luna, and what I'm afraid they're gonna do is retcon May into like medium Luna and just have all of them be the same character. That is what I'm afraid of, and I'm not confident enough in the show for them to not do that dumb and bad thing.
In order to solve all of the problems of the show, I think we're gonna need a bigger Luna.
We're getting a larger Luna.
Turns out the actual Luna was the fucking moon and was actually holding the balance between Earth and Wonderworld the entire time. It is the literal moon that they're talking to here. Oh my god, that would be horrible. But I do believe that what you said has some merit.
Yeah. It's so bad they can't not do it.
Yeah, especially because like Sophia somewhat took May under her wing by giving her that book. So maybe she's like planting the seed for her to become a new Luna because she had access to like the book before.
Yeah. And also, little Luna probably shouldn't be little. I don't know why that's still like a thing, and why they haven't like I don't know, man.
I mean, she's in a pocket dimension. Maybe time works different there. Or maybe it's like literally like the same day. Like she got sucked into that portal when Tom was a kid, and then like 5 minutes later, he's like ripping holes into there. 20 years
But like,
older. She just doesn't. She, for some reason, still recognizes him, even though he looks completely different. It
right.
might be the sense of fashion that could be the thing holding the two Tomas together.
No one else dresses this garbage. It must be you. Who's this burlap sack man? Oh, is that Kento?
It's like that depressed ass look. It's got to be Kento.
He looks like he's had about 20 years of daddy trauma. Yeah.
I'm just waiting for her to give him shit for his dad like throwing her in the hole in the first place. Because that happened, and I really wish that we saw that scene happen.
Yeah.
Just
The
imagine
more
Juice.
we see of that scene, the more boring it gets.
Oh man, yeah, that's why I need to see like Juzo just chuck that girl into the sky every single time we visit it. All right, so I guess that kind of like. Do you have any other thoughts before you head into comments? All right. Yeah. All right. Our first comment comes from Rajik Rasul. It was a good episode. I thought he was gonna say Amazon instead of Henshin. Do you guys miss the long CGI Henshin finisher, or do you prefer this Henshin in real X time? For next week, I don't like the motive of Master Logos to become God. It's getting tired.
Been tired since day one.
Like honestly, if this character wasn't previously Shinken Gold, I would hate him a lot more. But because he was my favorite character back in that show, like he has enough
Yeah,
good
he's
karma
burning a
saved
lot
up.
of goodwill here.
So seeing the sushi lord become God is kind of amusing in its own way, if you think about it that way. But
Yeah. He's
Well,
gonna turn the whole world into a sushi roll.
yeah, like he could literally do that with the two worlds. All right. Second comment comes from Toku Burst. This episode wasn't that good in my opinion. When Yuri died, didn't feel anything. The whole Luna thing feels so kind of early and forced. And I feel like it's super late.
First off, Toku Burst, welcome in from Soda Pop. Thank you for hopping on over.
Yeah.
Go
All right.
ahead.
And our last comment comes from Chest of Greatness. So now we know why Bach became the immortal swordsman, and that Henshin sequence is more awesome than the one in the movie. Relax, Yuri is not officially dead yet, so please calm down and be patient. He'll come back soon. Yes, I'm very distressed. I hope Bach will turn good along Ren and the Shindai siblings so we can get a really epic battle. Kamen Rider Solomon versus the 11 Swordsman. It's great that Luna is back, but I was expecting a grown-up version. But then again, it wouldn't matter. And the one last thing to say to Master Logos is starting to bore me. Starting to bore you when he says he'll become a god.
There are a few things I want to touch on here. Let's see. Saying that he hopes Bach joins the team. There was that moment between Yuri and Toma where Toma was just like, "So he was your friend before? Yes, but don't absolutely do not try to befriend this man." Like without saying it, he was like, "Yes, and sometimes you just have to let things go, save the world with your friends, you know." But what if I said, like, you could feel him thinking it.
Yeah. And I wonder how he would actually turn around Bach. He just goes up to him. Your wife and kids, they're the dirt. They're still technically alive, and I really want to see the rage that would come out of him after hearing such repulsive bullshit coming out of his mouth. This one character really needs like punishment for that. I don't care who it is. If it's him, if it's Logos, I really need to see it happen. If it's fucking Luna, oh my god. All right. Okay, like the Shindai siblings, they gotta hurry up with their character development. We don't have time to deal with this fucking stuff.
This is the first time I've heard them being called the Shindai siblings. I like through context clues. I had to figure out that you were talking about Sabella and Poseidon Trident dude.
Yeah. Durandal. All right.
Durandal. Yeah, because that works together.
All right, my hands are up, so I'm done with this episode. Guys, make sure to like, comment. Right. If you haven't already, check our description down below. There's a something down there. I can't let you know what it is, but you'll find out once you get there. Anyway,
Fine.
No, they must have known. The truth lies within.
I can't let you know. Like you're being held back. Guys, they don't want me to let you know the truth.
Hey, it's a Saber review. I got fit